Hey everybody, how's it going? So last year, Hugh Jeffries did a video where he took apart an iPhone 12, and he took the camera from one and he put it in the other, and he took the logic board from one and he put it in the other. When he switched the logic board from one phone to the other phone, the camera stopped working. Even though these housings, these motherboards, and these cameras were all from iPhones that came from an Apple store. What he found out in his video is that you were no longer able to replace the camera in your iPhone 12 on your own. Because if you did so, you needed special software to pair that new camera to your device so that it would work. And that software is not made available to you if you're an unauthorized service center or an owner of the product. This cut against years of repairability with the iPhone, where you could take the camera out of any other iPhone and just toss it in your phone, and it would work without having to get the approval of Tim Cook and Apple Inc. This is something that I talked about in this video. Let's talk about the iPhone 12 and its unrepairable camera. And this really just does contribute to that death by 1,000 cuts to the independent repair industry, and also your ability to say that you own what you buy. If you buy something and you cannot fix anything on it yourself, you don't really own it. And more companies and more industries are doing the exact same thing. And unfortunately, there is a chance that Google is heading that way as well. I would like to confirm whether that is the case. I need to get my hands on several Pixel 6 Pros once I am no longer traveling. And if anybody watching this has their hands on some Google Pixel 6 Pros and is able to confirm this for me, I'd highly appreciate it. So on my repair wiki, someone posted this right here. For the rear camera on the Pixel 6, it says over here, if reuse the rear camera, the reused production rear camera can only be used for the original device. If changing the logic board, the ASP also needs to change the RL rear camera. Has to have the geo mark. For the replaced rear camera from the original device, keep it and return it to the vendor. If changing the rear camera, the ASP needs to change it, has to have the geo mark on it. So this says the RL rear camera is calibrated at a vendor side to secure the image/video quality post repair. Now, this implies that that camera might not work if you switch it from one phone to another. And just the same way that it did with the iPhone 12. And the question there's many questions here. Let's start with the first one. A, is this actually the case? If you take a camera from one Pixel 6 Pro and you put it into another one, will it no longer work properly? Does it work with just decreased quality? Is it noticeable? Or is it like the iPhone 12 where it's obviously noticeable and completely unusable? B, if that is the case, then why? We had years and years and years of being able to change the camera on a cell phone with cameras that had image stabilization, that had amazing quality, 16, 25 megapixel cameras, and there was never an issue with just putting another one in there where you needed to pair it using a special tool. If this is for video quality and image quality, then why is the tool not being made available to everybody who owns the device? So when we're talking about, say, security and the ability to log in with a password and all that other stuff, the argument could be made that we can't make this tool available to just anyone because then they'll be able to hack into the phone. But if we're talking about image quality and video quality, then what is there to lose from making this tool available to unauthorized service centers and anybody who owns a device? Why do you need this available? If they're going to claim that this is for security, then how is that related to security when we're talking about the back camera of the phone, not the front camera that you would use to log in with your face? Why not make the tool available to all? What is the benefit of creating the device in a way where if you want to replace the camera, which is a common repair, like batteries, charge ports, or screens or buttons, why tie it to that specific motherboard? What is the benefit there? I hate the fact that when something happens like this with Apple and people keep buying it, that it actually spreads to other companies. That Google may now think, well, they got away with it, so I can't wait. It says the Geo module needs to be calibrated to the device's logic board with vendor-exclusive calibration software. As of writing, October 10, 2021, this software hasn't leaked anywhere publicly, and it's unclear if the modules are calibrated by the vendor pre-shipping to the ASP or calibrated by the ASPs themselves during the repair. If Google with the Pixel Pro, and this is a big if, and we need to wait for this to be confirmed, but if what they're writing here means that this behavior in any way, shape, or form is going to match the iPhone 12, where the camera won't work unless you have it fixed or replaced at an authorized service center. That means that it's no longer just Apple that's disabling functionality of the product if you have it repaired outside of their repair centers. That would mean that this is spreading to other companies, to other businesses. And I am not one of those disillusioned people to say, Apple is evil, I can't believe they did this, but Google and Samsung and LG, they're just like, they're the promised land. They're great. No, they're not. None of these companies, in my opinion, care about the user. None of them respect the fact that you paid for it, it's yours. And I think that if they see that one company got away with it, that they'll think, okay, cool, let's do it ourselves too. Why not? And that would be a crying shame. If anybody watching this has 2 Google Pixel 6 Pros, if you could do me the large favor of swapping that camera module that you see on the screen here, if you could just swap that camera module from one Pixel 6 Pro to the other, and then do a little video that demonstrates how the camera quality and how the video recording quality changes, if at all, camera functionality changes, if at all, I would highly appreciate it. Because I think the only way to push back against this is to nip this stuff in the ass from the very beginning, rather than after a bunch of people have purchased it and it's gotten all these rave reviews that cause everybody to want it. I think it's important to get this stuff out early. So if anybody could confirm what's going on here and confirm what they see in this Repair.Wiki post, I'd highly appreciate it. Also, if you want to contribute to Repair.Wiki, you're more than welcome to. Here we have a guide that I commissioned written for the iPhone 7. We're going to have many more guides written for the iPhone. This is a lot of amazing troubleshooting information over here, as you can see. Just lots of really good troubleshooting stuff. I've written guides and had people contribute to them for every single model MacBook that you could find. And we really only have one rule here at Repair.Wiki. There's literally only one rule. The one rule of Repair.Wiki is you are allowed to contribute a guide to it as long as you don't ask Lewis if you can. If you don't ask me, Lewis, can I upload a guide on X? Lewis, can I upload a guide on how to fix Y? Can I upload a guide on how to fix Z? As long as you don't ask me for permission, you are allowed. If you ask me for permission, you're no longer allowed. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and honestly, I hope I learned something as well. And I really hope that I learn that this guide is wrong, and that the Google Pixel 6 Pro is not a device that's designed in a way where if you have it fixed outside of an authorized service center, you lose functionality for no reason at all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.